Hello everyone, welcome to my channel today. Today we'll be talking about factors and polynomials. We are going to solve past questions on this particular topic. So let's start with the very first question we have here. We are told that the polynomial p of x is equal to ax cubed plus bx squared minus 3x minus 4 has a factor. So let's underline factor of 2x minus 1 and then leaves a remainder of negative 10 when divided by x plus 2. So the first thing that we need to understand is what is a factor? Well, a factor in this sense would be that, let's say, two polynomials are factors, okay? So the first polynomial divides the second polynomial without a remainder, then we can say they are factors. That also means that when we find the zeros of the polynomial, the first polynomial, in this case, since 2x minus 1 is a factor of the entire polynomial, when we find the zeros of it, that is, if we equate it to 0, we have x equals half. When you put half into this p, we should get 0, since it doesn't leave a remainder, okay? If it's a factor, it's not going to leave a remainder. All right, so let's check that out. So we know that x equals half. Therefore, p of half will be equal to 0. So we have a into bracket half to the power 3 plus b into bracket half square minus 3 into bracket half minus 4. Everything should give us 0. Okay? All right. So that would be a over 8 plus b over 4 minus 3 over 2 minus 4 is equal to 0. All right, so that means we have, that's 3 over 4, and then we have, 3 over 2, and then we have 4. That gives us, so we have a over 8 plus b over 4 is equal to 11 over 2. All right, so we can decide to multiply through by 8. So a plus 2b will be equal to 44. Let's call this equation 1. All right. Then the next thing is that it leaves a remainder of what? Negative 10 when divided by x plus 2. So let's find the zeros of x plus 2. Let's equate x plus 2 to 0. That means x equals negative 2. So when we put negative 2 into the polynomial, it should give us negative 10, since that is the remainder, okay? So let's put that thing there. We have a into brackets negative 2 raised to the power 3 plus b into bracket negative 2 square minus 3 into bracket negative 2 minus 4. Everything equals negative 10. All right, so that should give us negative 8a plus 4b plus 6 minus 4 equals negative 10. So we have negative 8a plus 4b. That should be positive what? 2, so that equals negative 12. Okay, let's call that equation 2. So we have two equations that we are going to solve simultaneously. Let's bring the second equation. So we have a plus 2b equals 44. Let's call that's equation 1. So we can decide to multiply equation 1 by 2 so that we have, so we are going to have negative 8a plus 4b equals negative 12, and then we have 2a plus 4b equals 88. So let's subtract the two equations. All right, so that would be negative 8 minus 2. That would be negative 10a. Then 4b minus 4b, that's 0. And we have negative 12 minus 88, that's negative 100. So we can divide both sides by what? Negative 10. Therefore, a gives us 10, okay? Just like we were told to show that a is 10. Then the next thing is to find the value of b. Well, put it in one of the equation. Maybe equation 1 will be okay for us. So if equation 1 is a plus 2b equals 44, and then we know a is 10, so we have 10 plus 2b equals 44. Therefore, 2b is equal to 34, b is 17. Okay, so you found the values of a and b. Okay, therefore our polynomial itself, just put the values of a and b into there so that you complete it beautifully. Now I says that given that p of x is equal to 2x minus 1 into brackets, and then we have rx squared plus sx plus t, we should find the value of r, s, and t. Well, the idea is that first let's rewrite our polynomial since we found a and b. So that polynomial p of x will be equal to the a is 10, right? So we have 10x cubed plus bx squared by b 17, so 17x squared minus 3x minus 4. All right, so this is the new polynomial. We are going to divide that by the factor using the division, okay, approach. So let's do that. So we have 2x minus 1, and then we have 10x cubed plus the 17x squared minus 3x minus 4. So 2 go into 10x cubed, that's 5x squared. Then you multiply this answer, okay, 5x squared, by everything here. So when we do that, we have 10x cubed minus 5x squared. Okay, now let's subtract. So 10x cubed minus 10x cubed, that's 0. Then we have 17 minus 5. So that will become 17 plus 5, giving us 22x squared. Now let's drop this negative 3x down. Excuse me. So 2 will go into 22x. 2x will go into 22x, positive 11x times. Use that positive 11 to multiply 2x minus 1. So that will give you 22x squared minus 11x. Subtract again. So that the 22x minus 22x squared minus 22x squared will give you 0. But if you have negative 3 plus 11, that would give you 8. So that's 8x. Then finally, you drop the negative 4 down. So 2x will go into 8x 4 times. Okay, so that will give you 8x minus 4. You subtract, that is 0, 0. Okay, so that means that this polynomial, okay, that is p of x, could be written as, what you do is that it could be written as the product of 2x minus 1 and then the answer you got here. And that is true because, let me give you an example. For example, if I ask you to work on, divide 10 by 2, your answer is 5, right? Then 5 times 2 is still 10, so you are done. Now 10 is the same as using this answer to multiply that answer, so it's the same as 2 by 5. Okay, so the p of x is basically the same as this times the whole of that. Okay, so we can say that this is 2x minus 1 and then 5x squared plus 11x plus 4. Okay, so now if you compare, then you can say that r is 5, s is 11, and then t equals 4. Okay, and then you are done. Well, we also told that we should find the exact solutions of p of x. Let's underline the exact. We will talk more about it. So rewrite your p of x. They said it's equal to 0, but you know p of x is 2x minus 1 and then 5x squared plus 11x plus 4. Everything equals 0. Okay? All right. So it means that 2x minus 1 equals 0, all right? Or 5x squared plus 11x plus 4 equals 0. Okay, so this gives us half. All right. Since they mentioned exact, it means they do not want decimals. Okay, so first let's try to check it out if this problem could be solved in the first place. Okay, so let's use the discriminant to check that out. That will be b squared minus 4ac. So 11 squared is 121 minus 4 into 5 into c, which is 4. So 5 times 4 times 4, that is 100. So our answer is 21. So this is greater than 0. It could be solved. Okay, so let's give it a try. But unfortunately, we cannot use the factorization method to solve this. So it will be better for us to use a quadratic formula to solve this. The quadratic formula states that negative what? B, which is 11, plus or minus the square root of B squared, as 11 squared, minus 4 into A, which is 5, into C, which is 4, all over 2A, which is 5. So we are going to have negative 11 plus or minus what is in the bracket. That's 11 squared minus 4 into 5 into 4, right? And that is actually, let me check it out again, 11 squared minus 4 times 5 times 4, and that is 41, okay, all over 10. So you can see that your x values, you are not looking for decimals, since they said that they wanted an exact value. So the first x value is the positive one, that's negative 11 plus root 41 over 10. And then the second x value is negative 11 minus root 41 all over 10. All right, and then you are good to go for the 3 marks. Okay, let's look at another question. It says that the polynomial f of x is equal to ax to the third power plus 7x squared minus 9x plus b is divisible by 2x minus 1. Well, if we say a polynomial is divisible, then we are also saying that that is a factor. Okay, so when we look for the zeros of 2x minus 1 and we put it into f of x, it should give us 0. So let's start with that. So the zeros of 2x minus 1, when we put that to 0, x is half. So f of half should give us 0. So that means we have a into brackets half cube plus 7 into brackets half square minus 9 into brackets half plus b is 0. That's a over 8 plus 7 over 4 minus 9 over 2 plus b is equal to 0. So let's put 7 over 4, right, minus 9 over 2 on the calculator. We have negative 11 over 4. Let's move it to the other side of the equation. So we have a over 8 plus b, okay, is equal to positive 11 over 4. Multiply through by 8, you have a plus 8b is equal to 22. Call that equation 1. Okay, then let's continue the story. It says that the remainder when f of x is divided by x minus 2 is 5 times the remainder when f of x is divided by x plus 1. That statement is really important. You need to understand what's happening here. Now, let's put, when you find the zeros of x minus 2, you have x equals 2. True or false? True, right? Okay, so when we put f of 2, okay, when we put 2 into f of x, what happens is that it is going to leave a remainder, since they didn't say that's a factor. So that remainder, so it is equal to something. What is it? We don't know. But we are told that it is equal to 5 times. So 5 times the remainder when f of x is divided by x plus 1. That means that 8 zeros will give you x equals what? Negative 1. So 5 times f of negative 1. Okay, so that means we have to work on f of 2. So that will be a into bracket 2 cube plus 7 into bracket 2 square minus 9 into bracket 2 plus b is equal to 5 times, okay, a into bracket negative 1 cube plus 7 into bracket negative 1 square plus, negative 9 into bracket negative 1 plus b. Okay, so this will give us 8a plus 2 squares 4. 4 times 7 is 28 minus 18 plus b is equal to 5. Now inside this particular bracket, 1 cube negative 1 cube is negative 1, so that's negative a. We have plus 7, we have plus 9, we have plus b. So you have 8a plus 28 minus, okay, 28 minus 18, that is 10. So let's just put 10 there and then be free. So the 7 and then the 9 will give us 16. So when we get there, we'll work on it. So 5 times negative a will give us negative 5a, okay? Then 7, 5 times 16, I guess that's 80. Yeah, that's correct. That's 80 plus 5b. Okay, so let's move everything to the left hand side. So that will give us 13a, all right? Then minus 4b is equal to 70. All right, I hope. Let's call that equation 2. Let me check the movement. Negative 5 goes to add to 8, that's 13. 5b goes to subtract from b, that becomes negative 4. And then the 10 comes to subtract from 80, 70. Good. So if you solve, there's no space, so I'm going to just use the calculator to solve it. If you solve these two simultaneously, what will I get? Okay, so 70. Okay, so you get a to be 6, and then b is what? 2. All right. So they said that show that a equals negative 6, and that is what we have shown. Okay, that's what they wanted. And then they said then find the value of b, and we found the value of b. All right, so in the exam, please write small so that you can do all these things. All right, now the b part says that we should using our values from part I, that is, now that we found a and b, we should get the full polynomial, and then we should factorize the polynomial. Basically, that's what they want. So that one is a linear and one is a quadratic. And the linear is the 2x minus 1. The quadratic is cx squared plus dx plus e. And we are going to find those constants, the c, the d, and the e. That's our job, basically. So that means that, let's rewrite f of x clearly here. A is 6, so we have 6x cubed. Plus 7x squared minus 9x, and then b is 2, so plus 2. Great. Now, the easiest way to find that particular, we know the 2x minus 1, so the particular quadratic is to maybe use long division. There could be several approaches, okay? But I prefer long division because it's easier for me personally. So that is 2x minus 1, then we have 6x cubed and plus 7x squared minus 9x plus 2. Right, let me use blue to write the solution. So 2x will go into 6x cubed. I think that is 3x squared. You multiply everything over there. Okay, so when you subtract, this will give you 10x squared. And then you drop this one down. 2x will go here. I think that is 5x. That's 10x squared minus 5x. You subtract, that will give you negative 9 plus 5. So that's negative 4x. Then finally drop the plus 2 down. And then we have negative 2. That's negative 4. And then we have positive 2. Okay, you subtract, and everything is like that. So like I said previously, f of x could be written as the divisor, that's 2x minus 1, times the quotient, so that's 3x squared plus 5x minus 2. So if you compare, then you can see that c is what? 3, d is 5, and then e equals negative 2. All right, that's what they want. Now the e part, the III says that we should what? Factorize this thing completely. Okay, so that means we know our f of x has been written as 2x minus 1, and then we have 3x squared plus 5x minus 2. Let's see if we can factorize this. Let's work with this one first. 3 times negative 2 is negative 6, right? Factors of negative 6 when added gives positive 5. That will be, I think that's 6 and a negative 1. So you have 3x squared plus 6x minus 1 x, but 1x, I'll just write x minus 2. Okay, so that means I have 2x minus 1, and then I have, let me take the first two, okay, and then factor out, let me factor out 3x, so I have x plus 2, and then here I factor out negative 1, so I have x plus 2. So that means I have 2x minus 1, 3x minus 1, and then x plus 2. All right, so this is how to factorize completely, okay, for additional 2 marks. All right, let's take a look at this question. It's actually a quartic, okay, to the power 4. And they want us to write it in this way. Well, if you have a quartic like this, the first thing that you need is to identify what at least a factor. But I mean, those who said the questions are very kind. They gave us a factor. So what they actually want us to do is to divide a quartic by x minus 1 to show that when we do divide, we are going to get that answer. Okay. So we have x minus 1. And then our polynomial is x to the 4th power minus 2x to the 3rd power minus 3x squared plus 8x minus 4. Okay, so we have, that will give us s cubed, and then that's x to the 4th power minus s cubed. So let's subtract. The first one is 0. Then we have negative 2 minus 1. So that will be negative 2 plus 1. That's negative s cubed. Then we drop this one down. We have negative 3x squared. X will go into negative s cubed, negative x squared. So you multiply that and you have negative s cubed, then you have plus x squared. You subtract. First part is 0, second part is negative 3 minus 1, and that's negative 4x squared. Drop the 8x down. X will go there, negative 4x. Then you multiply, you have negative 4x squared, all right, and then you have plus 4x. You subtract, first part is 0, so you have 4x. You drop the negative 4 down, then x will go there, plus 4, and then you are done. Okay, so indeed, we can write the polynomial as the product of its divisor and then its quotient, like that, and then we are done for 1 mark. It's quite painful, but it is what it is. Now it says, hence write p of x as a product of its linear factors. So that means they do not want you to have any cubic or quadratic as a factor. Okay, they want you to factorize completely. That's what they want. And they said show all your workings. Okay, but we know that p of x has been given as x minus 1, and then x cubed minus x squared minus 4x plus 4. Okay, so the first linear has come. So our job is to take the cubic and then split it. So let's take that cubic and then see how best we can factorize this. Now, if you have a cubic that you want to factorize, I will encourage you to, what to do actually is to basically look at the constant here is 4. What are the factors of 4? 1, 2, and 4. Take the plus or minus of all these, okay? And now, take your calculator, put the function on the calculator, that is s cubed minus x squared minus 4x plus 4, right? And then you click calc. Okay, you try positive 1, I got 0 straight away. So that means that x equals 1 is going to be a factor. Now what you do is that you transpose the 1 to the other side, go and join the x, so you have x minus 1 equals 0. So we can say that x minus 1 is a factor. Okay, now hold on. What you actually want to do is to, at this juncture, clear all these. Okay, I don't need them. So we know that this is a factor. If it's a factor, then I can use x minus 1. So you let me put this down before I even forget. Therefore, x minus 1 is a factor. Okay, so if it's a factor, then I can use it to divide the cubic. So let me go and use that to divide the cubic. X minus 1, and then I have x cubed minus x squared minus 4x plus 4. So I'm going to have x squared, then x cubed negative x squared. Okay, I subtract. That is 0. That is also 0. So I drop the negative 4 plus 4 down. Okay, so this x will go there negative 4 times. Yeah, that's negative 4. You multiply negative 4 x plus 4 basically. So you subtract that is 0. So that means that the polynomial is now the x minus 1 that we wrote first plus the second factor x minus 1 that we got, and then the last, that's x squared minus 4. But remember that x squared minus 4 is difference of 2 squares. So you can basically write x minus 1, then x squared minus 4, that will be x minus 2, x plus 2. And then you are done with your question. So you have actually expressed this as product of 8 linear factors by showing all the workings, okay? Because they really stress that show all the workings. So it's really important to show working for these things. If not, you might not really score all the marks over there. All right, let's look at another question here. It says that the remainder obtained when the polynomial, okay, p of x is divided by x plus 2 is twice the remainder when p of x is divided by the x minus what? 2. So I think this is similar to one of the questions that we've solved. But anyways, if you feel confident at this stage, I would like you to pause the video and give it a try. And after that, unpause it and then let's compare answers, okay? All right. So you're told that the remainder is twice. So let's first start with the x plus 3. The zeros of that will be x equals what? Negative 3. So when we put x negative 3 into p, it should be equal to twice, so 2 times the remainder when we put x equals 2, because that one is x minus 2. The zeros of that is x equals 2. So we have p of 2. Okay, so let's simplify this guy. So we have negative 3 cubed plus a into bracket negative 3 square minus 3 into bracket negative 3 plus b is equal to twice when we have 2 cubed plus a 2 square minus 3 into 2 plus b. Okay, so that's negative 27 plus 9a plus 9 plus b is equal to 2 into bracket 8, right? Plus 4a minus x plus b. All right, then the next thing that we want to do, we have what? Negative 27 and then plus 9 over there, that is negative 18. So we have 9a plus b minus 18 is equal to, now we have 8 and then 6. You subtract that 2, gives you 2 times 2, that is 4. They have 8a plus 2b. Okay, so let's move everything to the left hand side. So that's you have 9a, 8a, you go and subtract, you are left with a, and then you have b, and then 2b, go and subtract, and negative b is equal to, you have 4 here, you bring the 18, and 18 plus 4, I think that's 22. Okay, that's correct, 22. Okay, call that equation 1. Okay, let's go back to question. The question says that given also that p of x is divisible by what? X plus 1. Now, if it is divisible, that means that it is what? A factor. And if it's a factor, then it means when we find the zeros and we put into p of x, it should give us 0, right? So the 0 of x plus 1 is actually x equals negative 1. So that means p of negative 1 equals 0. So let's put negative 1 there and cube it. Okay, then we have negative 1 square. Then we have minus 3 into negative 1 plus b equals 0. That's negative 1 plus a plus 3 plus b equals 0. So that will give us a plus b. Now negative 1 plus 3 is positive, what? 2. Move it to the other side, negative 2. Call that equation number 2. So you have two equations actually. Let's write those two equations here. You have a minus b equals 22, and then you have a plus b equals negative 2. So we can add the two equations to eliminate b. So we have 2a is equal to 20, a is 10, and if a is 10, put it into one of the equations. We have a minus b equals 22, right? Just put 10 at where a is. So you have a minus b equals 22. Take the b here, take the 22 there. So you have this minus 22 equals b, which implies that b is actually negative 12, okay? And then you are good to go. So you found the values of a and b, and you have 5 marks. That's great. Now let's take a look at the subsequent one. All right, so this is actually our last question for the day. We are going to apply calculus, okay, differentiation to this. If you are in Form 4 and you haven't done calculus, well, you can continue to watch this, or you can end the video here, okay, that's also fine. But if you want to just explore, why not give it a try? At this stage, if you find the video useful, subscribe, comment, share with your friends, let them also subscribe, and then enjoy more content like this for free, okay? So the polynomial p of x, all right, we have it here, where a and b are constants. That's fine. Now listen, if you see that like apostrophe on the p, that means that it has been differentiated for the first time. So that's the first derivative. All right, they're saying that it's divided by x plus 3, and then there's a remainder of what's negative 24, which is show that 6a minus b equals 78. Now I like questions like this because you are told to show. If you can't show that 6a minus b equals 78, then you know that you are wrong, and then you have to do something about it, right? Great. So now let's give it a try. First, let's differentiate this. So the derivative of p prime of x will be equal to 3 times 2, that is 6x squared plus 2ax plus b, okay? Now we, so that's the derivative. We are told that if we divide this derivative by x plus 3, there's a remainder of negative what? 24. So that means if we find the zeros of x plus 3, which gives us x equals negative 3, put it into the function that we just have, equate it to 78. So let's see. We have p negative 3 will give us 6 into bracket negative 3 squared plus 6a into bracket negative 3 plus b is equal to 78. Oh, no, sorry, because negative 24, that's the remainder. So negative 3x squared is what? Is 9, and 9 times 6, that's 54. Then we have negative 6a plus b equals negative 24. Well, they want us to show that it is 6a. So let's move the 6 and then the b to the right hand side, okay? So that will mean that we have 54 plus 24 is equal to 6a minus b. And that will give us 78 equals 6a minus b. Or you can also say 6a minus b equals 78. Okay, now you have proven that what they wanted you to do. You've done that. That's great. Now the next condition says that it is given that 2x minus 1 is a factor, okay, of p of x. So we should find the value of what a and b. Okay, so that means that the zeros of 2x minus 1 is actually x equals half. If you equate 2x minus 1 to 0, you are going to get x equals half. So put x equals half into p of x, not the p prime of x. It's not the derivative. They said that is p. So when we put it into p, we have 2 into brackets, half cube plus a half square plus b into half minus 49. Okay, since it's a factor equated to 0, so equals 0. Now that is 2 over 8 plus a over 4 plus b over 2 minus 49 equals 0. So that also means that, you know what, let me move this thing a little bit to the side so I can get more space to work with. Now that means we have a over 4 plus b over 2. Now 1 over 4 minus 49 will give us negative 195 over 4. Move it to the other side. We have positive 195 over 4. We can decide to multiply 3 by 4. And that gives us a plus 2b is equal to 195. Call that equation number, call it 2, okay? Because we found this in the previous question. We could have called it equation number 1. So we are going to solve this simultaneously. We have 6a minus b equals 78, and then we have a plus 2b equals 195. Okay, so we can decide to multiply equation 1, okay, the first equation, by 2. So that would actually give us 12a minus 2b, 78 times 2, that's 156. So now the 2b's, we have positive 2b, negative 2b, so we can decide to add them up, giving us 13a. Now the b will be eliminated, and then we have 195 plus 156, that is 195, 156, 351. It will be 351 divided by 13, and the answer is 27. Okay, now we can find b. Okay, from the second equation, a plus 2b equals 195. We know a is 27, so we have 27 plus 2b equals 195, which implies that 2b is 195 minus 27. 195 minus 27, that gives us 168. So b is 168 divided by 2, giving us 84. Okay, so these are your answers. A is that, B is that. Okay, all right. Now finally, what do they want? They want us to write p of x in the form x minus 1 times some k of x, where the k of x is a quadratic factor. Okay, all right. So now what we want to do is to go back to the polynomial, put the value of a and b in it. Okay, so you have the p of x nicely written. So p of x is actually 2x cubed plus a, right? But a is 27, so 27x squared, and then you have plus bx minus, so b is 84x minus what, 49. Okay, so now you are going to divide this polynomial by 2x minus 1. Okay, so we have 2x cubed plus 27x squared plus 84x minus 49. Okay, so that will go there, x squared multiply 2x cubed minus minus x squared, subtract. When we subtract, what do we get? So the first one is 0, the second one will be 28x squared. 2 goes into 28, that's 14. Then we have x, we multiply. All right, so let's drop this one down. Okay, you multiply, you are going to get 28x squared minus 14x. Subtract. The first part is 0, then we have 84 plus 14, and that is 98x. Then finally, we bring the negative 49 down to go into 98 49 times. So we have 98x plus, negative 49. And then we subtract the 2, and then we get 0, 0. Now that means that our p of x can be written as a factor of a linear and then that of a quadratic, which is that. Let me move this guy maybe somewhere here. Plus 49. Okay. So that's what they wanted, and that's what we've done. Then the last part of this sentence, we should factorize completely. So our p of x, which is equal to 2x minus 1, and x squared plus 14x plus 49, we are going to factorize this completely. Okay, so we have, this one is there, but since the coefficient of the x squared is just 1, we can easily factorize that. Factors of 49 when added gives 14, that's a 7 and 7. So we have plus 7 for 1 mark, and we are done. All right, so this is how to approach questions on factors and polynomials. Okay, I hope you found this video useful. Subscribe to this channel for more content, and also suggest it to your friends. They might find this useful as well. Till we meet again, stay safe.